Hey guys, for lack of a better setup, I'm going to be standing here in my room explaining to you what Herceptin and Perjeta do for HER2 positive breast cancer. I'm going to be explaining what HER2 is and how Perjeta and Herceptin bind to two different epitopes of the HER2 receptor protein. So HER2, for instance, is the human epithelial growth factor receptor that spans the cell membrane. In normal cells, actually, some epithelial breast tissue, stomach tissue, and also in the ovaries, we normally, our gene chromosome 17, codes for HER2 proteins. However, in patients with breast cancer, approximately 20 to 25% of patients have an overexpression of this HER2 protein receptor. So what that means is because the HER2 protein has a downstream signaling pathway that leads to cell proliferation and also improves cell survival by preventing apoptosis, meaning cell death. We are having an over signaling and an over movement towards that pathway due to the overexpression of the HER2 protein overexpression. So our epithelial growth factor binds to that receptor. So that epithelial growth factor is a ligand that binds to one of the epitopes of the HER2 protein. HER2 protein receptor can also bind to the HER3 protein receptor and cause some of that same downstream signaling. That again leads to cell proliferation, meaning cell division and multiplication, and also prevents the cell from apoptosis, which is like automatically dying at the time that it should. Programs cell death, basically. So, what Herceptin does is it binds to one of the epitopes of the HER2 protein, and it prevents that signaling. At the same time that it binds to that HER2 protein, it is a form of targeted therapy that helps the body be signaled, the immune system be signaled to attack that HER2 positive cell. So, we give Herceptin after Perjeta, and I'm not really sure why, but they always say give Perjeta first. What Perjeta does is it synergistically helps HER2 not to bind to HER3, which is another HER family receptor. And that prevents the same downstream signaling for the cell to proliferate. So some of the side effects of Perjeta and Herceptin are heart failure. How it leads to heart failure, I don't know, but it causes heart failure, so we always do an echo to make sure that our patients aren't going to have heart failure. Also, you can have hypersensitivity reactions to Herceptin, and it can also potentially cause thrombocytopenia and also some neutropenia. Other than that, I think of other side effects. We talked about the lung. No, we didn't talk about lungs. We talked about the heart. We talked about the blood. We talked about. I'd have to look it up and get back with you. But you can have a reaction to Herceptin